Hello, everyone. So, I just finished editing my video for Patreon and for YouTube. All I need to do is the thumbnail, and my video is already imported on Patreon. So, let me put it live for them. This episode was amazing. Oh my god, such an amazing episode. I have so much to say about it. I actually didn't do a big outro on my YouTube because I really wanted to talk about it more on my live. But yeah, this episode was amazing. Every time I watch a new episode, I'm like shocked on how. Wait, guys, first, can you hear me? Because I'm using a new microphone and I don't know if you guys can hear me actually. I didn't even check. Can you hear me? Can you put like a thumbs up or something? If you can hear me. There's 27 of you, so I just need a thumbs up. Can you hear me? Okay. I don't even... Yes, we can hear you. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay. I think there might be a little delay. That's why. Great. Perfect. Thank you. Let's go. Okay, so let's recap this episode. Amazing episode. First of all, can we talk about everything about this show? Because damn, the budget that they have. Beyond Cloud is really just such an amazing production for a film company because it's just so amazing to watch. I feel like I'm in the cinema when I watch an episode. It's crazy. Okay, so my reaction is live on my Patreon. Let me post it. Uncut, uncensored. Y'all know this episode was wild. I had to censor so much. Oh my god. Okay, it's published. I'll give you the link if you guys want to check it out. Here is my reaction. Uncensored. Okay, so this episode was so amazing because we started it back in the first episode, basically. So as you guys know, if you've watched my reaction from episode 4, I understood that now we have two timelines. One where Great goes back in time and changes things, and one where he had never gone back in time. Therefore, everyone has died, nothing changed, and that is the timeline we're in this episode. So we're seeing a completely different perspective, and also it's really interesting to see kind of the butterfly effect. I don't know if you guys have watched the movie Butterfly Effect, but basically, if you change one little thing, then everything changes. Though I think the two timelines are still so similar, I thought there would be more change because so much is getting changed, literally. So I thought it would have more consequences, but the consequences are kind of the same as the original timeline. Okay, so also I really enjoyed Tonkla in this episode. I think seeing Tonkla being like the bad guy and kind of getting justice for his brother, I think is so rewarding for us viewers because I kind of want Tonkla to get revenge, you know? I agree. Here, Great is such a spoiled brat. Okay, so in this timeline, you guys have to let me know, but I think, I don't know if it's the writing, but I think it's a bit contradictory. Hello, princess. Hello. So happy you could join the live. Yeah, it's a bit contradictory because, hear me out, before we start recapping the episode. So in this episode, Great literally had a hit and run. That woman was on the floor, unalive, full of blood. Great, didn't flinch, didn't see remorse. He goes to his dad, sits at the table. We don't really see remorse. Actually, there's a part of me that think he might be a psychopath, and we might have a big reveal. Because as you guys know, psychopaths actually are really great actors, and they can kind of make you think like they like you or like they have feelings, but it's all part of their games. Me too, I felt it too. It was a red flag from the start. Yeah, Great has never been a great guy. His name, he doesn't live up to his name, that is for sure. But so yeah, no remorse. And then the thing with Dome happens that we kind of already saw, but it was really gruesome, like the way. Oh my god, Princess, thank you. You're still at work, you're lurking. I don't want to be a bad influence, so I really want you to focus on your work. But thanks you so much for the super chat. And yes, so I think that the way Dome, guys, this is so crazy because if you watched my Google history, I literally, after editing the episode, I Googled, do dead bodies float? My search history is so funny, guys. And yes, Google said, yes, dead bodies float. So them dumping the body in the river is just so stupid. It made me, literally, I'm watching them and I'm like, are they just dumb? Because dead bodies float. And then he's like, yeah, they're just gonna think he drowned himself. And I'm like, but do you know that when there's a dead body, then they investigate the death and he has a trauma to the head, and it's basically they're gonna find out that he died from the trauma and not from the drowning. So they're really not smart. And this entire time, all I'm thinking about is that if I were to commit something, I would be good at it. There would be no evidence. There would be no body. Like, he's really not good. They're really not good. I don't even know how they get away with it. And it's so funny because I think the Great being so unbothered and being so like does not care about all these people dying, I think it's just because he has money. He's rich and he knows that nothing applies to him because there's no consequence. He knows he's not going to go to jail because his dad has power. So I think because he has literally no repercussion, he does not care. He does not even care if there's evidence he does not care that there's going to be blood on the grass and the blood, there's probably some of his blood on it. He does not even care at all, which is like annoying me. But hear me out. Now, is Jes going to go back to doing Vanilla Lagoon after this? Yes, Vegas are so great. Well, actually, if you watch my reaction, I mean, if you watch my uncensored reaction, literally, as that scene happened, I was like, Vegas, is that you? So I know what you're talking about. But yeah, they share the same brain cells. Glad I caught this. Yay, glad you could make it. Yeah, I just need to like get out my frustration and also how much I love this show. Okay, so after Great has done all of this, right? We still get to the point where he doesn't end up saving Nan. And when he sees Nan getting killed, the shock on his face, and I'm like, why are you so shocked? You just killed 2 people like 24 hours ago. So it didn't make sense to me that he was so shocked and that Nan died, and then he went to his dad and said, why do you have to kill people? Why do you do this? And I'm like, boy, you just killed 2 people. What are you talking about? So that's why it was this little part of the dialogue that to me makes no sense character-wise, because Great being mad at his dad for killing one person that he didn't even know. He didn't know Nan. He had never met her before, but he knew Dome. He knew Dome. Dome was in his class, and he actually, they actually knew each other, and he had no remorse killing him. But then a girl that he'd never met before, so suddenly he's like, Dad, why are you murdering people? Well, he literally just murdered 2 people. That, I'm just like, the irony in this. That's why it didn't make that much sense to me, but we're just gonna put that on the side. But I was wondering if you guys also feel the same way as me, because it didn't make that much sense for him to care so much about Nan dying. That, like, boy. Yes. Okay, so in this episode, Great really does not make the best judgment, but it's very interesting because as soon as I realized we were in a different timeline, I was wondering how they were going to meet. I knew that he would probably go to the hospital at some point, but not really why he would go. So I was wondering if something else would have happened, but no, he just went to the hospital to get sleep medicine, which makes sense because he literally just committed a murder and he cannot sleep. He's probably seeing dead people everywhere. He's probably having a hard time to sleep. So that makes sense. The way they met, that scene when they were both in the corridor walking together, that was amazing. There was so many amazing shots in this episode, particularly scenes and the music score, and there's so much, like, it really puts you in the mood. Plus, it's filmed quite dark. And for me, when I'm filming this, I'm filming with tons of studio lights on. Like, I've got my ring light. So it makes my eyes even brighter. And so it makes the screen even darker. So I really feel like I'm in the cinema, like I can't see anything. And I really like that we're like kind of immersed in this show. So this episode was basically a recap of episode 1 to 5, but from the different timeline, which is interesting because this one is the original timeline. And then at the end of this, when they both die, they're going to recreate the loop. So they're going to go back and then redo that again, which is what we saw already, that the second timeline would be episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is very interesting because they gave us the second timeline first, and then they gave us the original timeline. But I think it makes sense because they didn't want to tell us too soon what was going on. And what I'm wondering is, did they go back in time just once? Or have they been stuck in this loop forever? Maybe they have. Maybe this loop is going on forever and they can't break it. I don't know. It's very hard to tell until like they actually tell us how the loop works. Because I wonder if everything changed because what was so special that day, episode 1, that makes him, when he dies, go back to that specific day? Is it because he hit that woman, and then in the last episode we saw that that woman maybe has some supernatural power, like she was at the temple doing some juju? So I'm wondering if when the loop goes back to her specifically being hit by the car, is it because this woman that got hit is the one that stuck him into the loop? What do you guys think? I feel like there's so much about this show that we could talk about. There's probably so many theories, but I'm really happy because so far, most of my theories have been right. Okay, Grit in the other universe is like trying to do the right thing. Yes, but, okay, hear me out. What I'm thinking is that when he's doing the right thing, when he's going back in time, I wonder how many loops it took him to actually start making changes, because maybe he went back in time and still did the same, and then he went back in time, and third time he was like, let me try. Maybe third time he saved one person. Maybe he goes back again. Fourth time he saves 2 person. Fifth time he comes back again and he saves everybody. Like, I wonder if this has been going on a lot, or if he went back in time in that loop and straight away made the changes. Because I feel like the changes should be gradual. So I'm thinking he might have been stuck in this loop when we saw episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. That might have been like loop 10. Because I think it's gonna take time for him to actually want to make the good decisions. Question for you guys who watch and read interviews. I've watched so many interviews since. I've watched like even some interviews that don't even have English subtitles. I mean, you want to do BL? I mean, he probably auditioned and he got the role. I mean, to be honest, as I said before, actors can't be too picky for jobs, because there's not that many jobs in the acting space, and if they want to work, they can't be too fussy on what role they take. They have to take a role if they want to earn money and keep being in the business. So of course they can't be like, oh, I don't want that role. Then if he doesn't take that role, then who knows when his next role is going to be. It's not that easy to be an actor. So But yes, so what was very interesting in this episode was, I feel like time. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I feel like him having a girlfriend was so irrelevant. Like, he broke up with her, and then 7 hours after, he literally just slept with someone else. He didn't seem to like her at all. He didn't seem to care at all. Didn't seem interested, and I feel like he didn't add anything to the plot. So I was very curious why they added that he has a girlfriend, especially because him having a whole girlfriend and her being like, oh, I'm done because you don't treat me well, and then him being like, okay, then let me go with another man right now, literally 5 minutes after she broke up with me. He just took a sip of that coffee after breaking up with her. He was like, okay, moving on. I think it doesn't add anything to the plot unless it's because they want to make us feel like he's a jerk, because obviously he doesn't care about his girlfriend, and then he literally moved on after 5 minutes of her breaking up with him. I don't know. But I thought the whole girlfriend thing is so irrelevant. I said that in my reaction. Actually, I think that if he didn't have a girlfriend, it would have made more impact, because maybe because he's a doctor, he doesn't have time. And if he was like just single for a long time, and I feel like I would have seen more struggle of him trying to use Great to get what he wants, and kind of see him fall in love with him because he hadn't been in a relationship in so long, and he's kind of missing this kind of like touch and this kind of love. But no, he had a girlfriend for 2 years, so he definitely was not missing on that. So I think it would have actually made more impact if they made him single. But you know what? That's just me. Hello. So yeah, what else happened in this episode? I wish we had seen more Tonkla in this episode. Actually, in my reaction, I feel so bad, but I literally completely forgot the name of Tonkla. I was like, what is his name again? So yeah, if you watch my reaction later, you will see I forgot his name. Where did you watch the series? Now I watch it on Aishi, because even though I freaking paid for a View membership to watch 4 minutes, now I'm locked out of the... You can't view it on View anymore. It says something wrong, and even though I'm using a VPN, it's not working. But yeah, so luckily Aishi picked it up, so now I'm watching it on Aishi, which is way much easier. But then I paid a View membership for nothing. Yes, I wish we had seen Tonkla a bit more in this episode, because I think there's something so fun about his revenge. I really love his revenge plot. I think it's okay. This show is very interesting because our main characters are bad people, and it's like, are you supposed? This show is kind of making us feel for them, but also make us know that they're bad people, and you don't know if you have to root for them or not. And I think I really love when shows do this, when you don't know if you're rooting for someone. It's the same as if you watch Dexter. Dexter is a serial killer, but he also is a good guy, and also he helps because he's killing those people that are killing other people. So it's like, is he a good person or is he a bad person? And I'm feeling the same here, where I'm like, I don't know if I'm rooting for them or if I'm not, because I don't know really if they're good or bad. And because they're main characters, usually main characters are the protagonist, the people you root for, and then you have your antagonist. But now the antagonist, which is Tonkla, I'm rooting for him to get his revenge, because obviously I think Great should die because he literally killed his brother. So it's very interesting, this loop we're in, where it's just like, what is wrong, what is right, and it's just making us kind of like, I don't know how to feel. Isn't the actor who plays Tonkla such a good actor for his age? Yeah, he's a great actor. Which is actually like, when some people in BLs, they're not that great actors, and people are like, yeah, it's their first role, that's normal. I'm like, no. Bible, that was his first role in Kim Porsche, and he was the best actor I've ever seen. And Tonkla, I don't know what's his name, but he's great. He's amazing. He has so much range in his acting. He can act kind of without feelings, without heart, but then also he can act the revenge, and he can act kind of the psychopath vibe. Like he has a very good range. Great, reminding me of Mon from DFF. Yes, of Non. I really like DFF. I think Beyond Cloud actually makes really great shows. And what I love is that they don't make too many. The thing is, Beyond Cloud prioritizes quality over quantity. And if we look at GMM TV prioritizes quantity over quality. And I think Beyond Cloud is really great because they managed to create buzz around this series, because there's only one airing at a time and you have to wait for it. And when it happens, when it drops, the quality of the show is insane. And they do less episodes so they can put more budgets, and it's not dragging, and it's just so amazing. And I really I think Beyond Cloud is one of the best BL making studio we have out there. Like, all of their BLs are just so incredible, and there's so much storytelling. And I don't know, I feel like also the NC scenes, if you think about it, BLs nowadays, they do NC scenes just to get views, or they do NC scenes just to get tweets. And Beyond Cloud, I feel like the way they portray the NC scenes are in a way that is relevant to the plot, and it makes sense for the scenes to be there. They have a purpose. I think in BLs nowadays, the NC scenes have no purpose whatsoever. It's so choreographed, but this has a purpose. It's adding to the feelings of the character. Like, you see in the timeline, so we've got the two timeline. This is the original timeline in this episode, but the last episode was in the second timeline where we went back in time. The way they made love in that timeline was so different from this timeline. And this showed that in the first timeline, they dated, they fell in love. The lovemaking was full of love and trust and bond. But in this timeline, it was full of animal instinct, anger, revenge, and just that's it. And it was so well portrayed. And I really love to see the different timelines and the different, things that happen. And also the reason I believe he's gone back in time multiple times already is that, how he had visions in the second timeline. He had visions, and I think the visions go stronger the more he goes back to the past. And I think also all his visions are connected to feelings, because his visions are always related to time. Also, when time said something to him, he said, wait, oh my God, I don't remember what he said. When they were in the car after Nan died, and they were running away in the car, and then they had a fight after the car. He said something. He said something like, he said, you could have helped her. You could have saved her. And I think that is imprinted in his subconscious. And that is why when he went back in time, he saved Nan, because time's words were in his subconscious. And I believe that when he actually saved her the second time, he probably heard time saying, you could have saved her. You could have saved her. You were there. You saved me. You could have saved her. And I think that's why the more he goes back in time, the more powerful his memories and subconscious is. And I feel like this show is so great because it's dealing a lot with psychology and with the brain, which I really love. I'm obsessed with the brain. I read lots of books on how to use your brain and the part of your brains that use what. And I just think it's so interesting. And I feel like Great uses so much of his subconscious, so it's really fun. Now we need a Mile Apple cameo in the show. Oh my god, if there was a Mile Apple cameo, I would die. But also, Corn kind of looks like Mile's kin, don't you think? I feel like he's the same. I feel like Mile could have played Corn. And Corn could have been kin. I wish there were more production companies doing mature BL series with investigating plots. I mean, what was the production company that made A Manner of Death? That was just so good. Was that Beyond Cloud? No, that was not Beyond Cloud. Manner of Death was just so good. That was another show that really I loved so much. When is your reaction to the uncut version coming out on YouTube? I just love watching your viewpoints. My uncut version is already out on my Patreon, and my cut version can only be uploaded on Monday at 5 p.m. It gets blocked automatically, and then Beyond Cloud unblocks it at 5 p.m. on Monday. But sometimes I forget to put it live when it's unblocked because I don't have it. I need to put a reminder. Beyond Cloud and scene are part of the plot. It develops the character. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well said, Lydia. Thank you. Okay. I probably will go live also next week. So because before after 4 minutes, I had to watch This Love Doesn't Have Long Beans. So I didn't have time to go live. Exactly what I was thinking, corn style. Yes. What do you think about Tongva? I just talked about Tongva a little bit, but I really love him as a character. Actually, at first in episode 1, I thought he would be really a side character because he was like the sugar baby and he was on the side. And I feel like episode 1 was really more focused on Korn as a main character and then Tongva as a side character. But from episode 2, it was very obvious to me that Tongva was the main character and Korn is the side character. I think Tongva might actually have a lot to do with this entire plot because Tongva is the one creating that loop. Because if Tongva didn't kill Great, then Great wouldn't go back to the past. And I think the way everything is connected is very, very well done because it took us until episode 3 to find out that Tongva's brother was Dom. And I remember in episode 2, we were kind of like, wait, so who is his brother? We don't know because we saw then that Dom was alive in the hospital, but we didn't know that they were in separate timelines. So I think the entire way this was shot and done and well, and the timing, obviously they wanted to give us different timings and different timelines for us to get confused at first. And then now it's all clear. I saw a lot of people that said they don't like this show because it's confusing. And I think I prefer a show that confuses me and makes me think. But I understand a lot of people watch entertainment because they want to kind of escape their daily life and they just want to, chill, not think too much. But for me, this is what I love. Like, you guys know I'm a sucker for action. Action is my thing. I love a good murder mystery, detective, thief, heist. Like, that is what I love. Like, literally all the K-dramas that I watch are just crime dramas. Like, I can't watch romance K-dramas. I just get bored. But this is the best because it has the romance and it has the actual action, which I love. I actually thought we would get more stunts. We don't get that much stunts because in Kinporsche, the stunts were so amazing and I really enjoy a good stunt. So I really hope at one point we're going to get like a massive fight. By the way, what is your opinion about Korn's character in the show? I have so much opinion about Korn because I saw someone... Sometimes people send me comments and I'm like, guys, I remember saying that Korn... At first, I thought Korn was a purely sugar daddy, didn't have feelings. Then we saw in episode 4 that how Tongva and Korn met, and we saw a completely different side of Korn, kind of very lovey-dovey, very nice and thoughtful and helpful, and we actually saw the love. But then his actions also don't make sense. Because I'm like, okay, someone said, but because I said, why is Korn even in this business, gambling business? Why is he doing all of this? And someone commented, well, obviously he's in there because he said that once he has approval from his dad, he can tell his dad that he's dating Tonkla. So the entire reason why he's taking care of the gambling business is because the end game is to have his dad's approval and tell him that he's in love with Tonkla. But that makes no sense because this entire time he's cheating on Tonkla. So he's doing all of this for love for Tonkla, but then he's cheating on him. Then that's not love. So why is he doing this? Why does he even care? And then also he doesn't even care about Tonkla. Tonkla calls him, he doesn't care. So that's not love. So to me, he's doing the gambling not for Tonkla. That's for sure. He's doing it because he wants validation from his dad. He doesn't care about Tonkla. He's only doing this for his dad, for the money. And I think his character is such a good character. I think he's a good antagonist. I really don't like him as a person, but seeing a little bit of the flashback kind of made me feel compassion for him. But I think his actions are bad, and I think he's not a good person. Though Great is not a good person either, but I like Great more than I like Korn because I think Great has potential to change while Korn doesn't. What is your opinion about Korn's character in the show? Well, I'll just say that. Tonkla revenge for DFF. Yes, I'm loving this revenge plot. I actually hope that in the next episode, we're going to see more of Tonkla's perspective, maybe. Because, so in the beginning of this episode, we saw what's the name of the police officer? I don't remember his name. I just call him police officer. Also, it's so funny because the police officer also, I think his actions don't make sense because he's a police officer. He literally made an oath to protect, to give justice. Win, his name is Win. Okay, thank you. And then he knows that if they found blood of Tonkla on the rock, and he's probably the first murder suspect, and he still sleeps with him. So, which means this entire thing is just rigged. And also, I'm like, you just met him. So you just met him, and you'd rather sleep with him even if he's a murderer, but you're a police officer? I think it would have been more fun if we saw him a bit more kind of trying to fight the fact that he likes him and building that tension, and then maybe being like, oh my God, I'm starting to love him, and now I found out maybe he's the murderer, and how is that gonna... I just really like that type of plot, but I do think they kind of fell in love too fast. I feel like Win, episode 2, he was already in love, and I'm like, why are you in love? You literally met this guy twice. You know nothing about him. So I thought Win as a character was a bit like coming on too strong, while Tonkla kind of was like, yeah, this is just sex, like we're just having a fun time. But Win kind of like fell in love suddenly. I'm like, Win, chill, boy. Same screenwriter for Manner of Death and 4 Minutes. Ah, that makes sense then. Okay. I love crime too. Yay. Murder mysteries relax too. That is true. Triage was really good. Yeah, it was really good too. I feel like Triage didn't have that good of a budget, so they couldn't do too much with it, but it was really good. Do you think that Babel's portrayal of Great in his sexuality in Pavel will inspire more production companies to cast in right characters that are not stereotypical? Yes, I do think. I think it's so insane that this is actually like something people talk about. I think like some fans are like annoyed that he's playing this role, and I'm like, he's an actor. Diversity. An actor is only good as far as his roles. If he can do both, that means he's a great actor. But I really hope that BLs will change it in that way, because that is very true that BLs are very stereotypical, and usually there's kind of like the alpha, which is the top, and it's always the same. And usually they're always there to help and kind of saving the damsel in distress. And I'm like, I wish they would make a character that doesn't need saving, because that's also not always the case. And yeah, that is true that most BL are very stereotypical, but also most BLs are written by women, by straight women. So I guess that's why. But hopefully it will change in the future. I wonder if Tonkla threw corn out of his house because he knew there's a cop in his house and he didn't want to expose corn. Tonkla knew corn because he... Oh, I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows what corn is up to. So you mean in the other timeline in the last episode? I don't think he knew. I don't think he really knew too much. But I really hope that in the next episode, we could maybe have a little bit of this episode, but in Tonkla's perspective. So in the beginning, we saw that the police officer raids the house. Tonkla is gone. He has fled. And I really wish we would see that. I want to see Tonkla finding out who killed his brother, fleeing, plotting his revenge. Like, I want to see him in a dark room, kind of having like photos with red strings and being like putting cross, like, you're dead, revenge, and like slowly making his revenge plan. I think that would be fun. So I really hope that in the next episode we can get more of Tonkla's perspective. I don't understand why we always have to persist, yes, on the rules things when they have a story. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me either. I would love to see Tonkla get full revenge. Yes. So are we still getting 8 episodes or are we getting 10? Because some people commented that we might be getting 10, but on my drama list, it says 8. So if we are 6, there's only 2 episodes left. To me, that's just impossible. It's like, there is no freaking way we're only getting 2 episodes to solve this entire freaking murder mystery. Like, how? How? Unless we're getting freaking season 2, and that's a plot twist. Like, they end on a massive cliffhanger, and then they say, season 2 coming soon. Then that I would be bothered, because sometimes season 2 end up getting cancelled. Yeah, unless episode 8 is like 1 hour 30 minutes. But I'm like, we have so much to resolve. That makes no sense. But the amazing thing is that the show is definitely not going to drag. I really like the fast pace, Also, we had a great, amazing scene today with Bible and his cat. Again, amazing, like... And also great being like scared of dogs. That was funny. He's so baby. He's acting so baby while he's out murdering people. Make it make sense. That entire scene of them like holding hands, which was also like, I thought, technically in this timeline, they haven't gone on a date. They just met and they're already holding hands. Okay, good for them. If they make a season 2, they should do a better effort with Kin Porsche. Absurd unsolved ending with the mom and everything. Well, unfortunately, that is why I hate when they do cliffhanger in season 2, because it always somehow ends up getting cancelled. It's hard also to get all the actors back together. Like, what if one of the actors leaves the company? What if, so season 2, I hate that, because I think unless it's being straight away filmed, I don't think they should make season 2. That sponsorship at this moment was so funny. Was it a deodorant sponsorship? I was like, what is this? Oh, you mean the sponsorship also with the cat? Wasn't there a deodorant on Time's nightstand next to the photo of his mom? And then there's like a little sponsorship with the cat. Oh, you mean the direct sponsorship? Do you think they're sponsored? That would be fun if that was a sponsor. I didn't actually think about that. I don't think they would sponsor a show, though. Would they? I don't know. Maybe they would. I was like, this is not the moment sponsor. Well, that was a great moment, though. That's a fun moment. Them doing it on the pool table also brought me back to Sunset X vibes, and I was like, so this is how it's done. But also I kept thinking, pool table must be so uncomfortable. Like, it's super hard, and then there's a freaking bull on the loose everywhere. Doesn't seem that fun to me. It seems like it's a hassle, and it's gonna give me like a backache when I wake up. Personal opinion, I don't really like Wynn's character. I felt it is worthless. Actually, I don't like his character that much because I think... Okay, so hear me out. You see, in Manner of Death, I feel like the police officer has a better portrayal, because a police officer, because we have an actual police officer in this show, I wish the police officer would be kind of focused on getting justice, but the police officer does not care about justice. It seems like he's so whipped about this guy that he just met, and I wish that they would portray him more as an actual police officer who could potentially get Tonkla and get him in jail. But we see that he's actually might be helping Tonkla, even though Tonkla literally just ending up killing 2 people. So yeah, but you're kind of right. I think Wynn's character is okay, but there's something about him that I'm like, why is he so soft and loving of someone he literally just met while he's literally a police officer? I feel like it's a bit kind of contradictory, but I think it's a great addition because I really like when we have police officer or detective. But yeah, I feel like they could have done more with his role. I think they could have done like maybe a better script for him, but maybe it will change, but maybe something else will happen. We'll see. What I'm wondering is, in the end, will he arrest Tonkla, or will he help him escape, even if he knows that he's guilty? I don't know. That's what I wonder. Can't believe so many people write about Wynn. About what? The pool table seemed small. I'm so curious about Time's friend, the other doctor. Oh yeah. Also, the other doctor, I forgot his name also. I think it's kind of odd just because he's doing this entire research on afterlife when he's literally a doctor with science. And I'm like, he's researching people that went to cardiac arrest, but also he's a brain doctor. So unless the people die in a what's it called, a scanner, like then they don't know what happens in their brain unless they actually die inside the machine. So I feel like his entire research kind of is pointless, because how can you research after death when you can't have concrete evidence of what happened after death? Especially doctors are based on science. So I feel like what he's researching is more like paranormal, supernatural, which I think doesn't make sense for a doctor. But we'll see where this entire research is going to go. Like Kim's research in KP, pointless. That's so right. That was pointless. Dr. Dan? Was it? Is his name Dr. Dan? No. Really? I thought his name was something else. About him not being right for Tonkla, I thought he was a bit better than Korn. Oh, okay. I don't think any of them are that great. I think Tonkla is either going to end up in jail or dead, so I don't think he's going to end up with anyone anyways. I mean, he's literally a murderer, so he's either going to be in jail or he's going to probably, die. There is no way. Because we've never seen Tonkla from the second timeline. We've only seen Tonkla from episode 1 into the original timeline. So we don't know how he is in the timeline where Dome is alive, Dome never died, and he would probably have never even met the police officer because there's no dead body. So they probably wouldn't have met. So I wonder if we're gonna find out about the other timeline with them. So you see, we definitely need 10 episodes because I want to see that too. Dr. Dan is just for plot to explain 4 minutes. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think that's why. But you see, I feel like, so in one of the episodes we saw great, in this kind of room with this woman on a bed. Like he went onto like a weird room, and there was like a big projector and there was a bed. What was that about? What is that about? Tongkla is going to sip a martini on a beach in the last scene. That would be so fun, actually. If like literally everyone dies, and I wish we would have one episode kind of focus on trying to catch Tongkla, like Catch Me If You Can, and then it's Tongkla escaping and his plot revenge all actually worked. And then we see him like sip a martini on the beach, and then boom, we go back to timeline number 2 where Great has actually changed the future, and he's sipping a martini on the beach again, but then next to him is his brother. That would be great. That's how it would end. Okay, so yeah, what else happened in this episode? I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. Was there something else you guys wanted to talk about? I still have to make my thumbnail. I've uploaded my reaction without a thumbnail yet. I haven't made my thumbnail yet. But yeah, that was a great talk because I feel like there's so much to talk about with this show. Tongkla is a digital nomad. I think it's very interesting because also they showed that Tongkla was the only one with Great to have memories from a different timeline. Time doesn't have memories for a different timeline. We've never seen Time having that kind of a flashback or something, but Great had the flashback of him sleeping with Time, and then Tongkla had a flashback of Dome coming home. So Tongkla is such a great character because also, why is he getting those flashbacks? Is it because the loop has gone on for so long and now the timelines are bleeding together, or is it because Tongkla might be also the key to all of this? Tongkla might be like an actual bigger character than we actually think he is. Yeah, I will do a live next week also and the week after. Don't worry. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go because I have to do my thumbnail and upload my reaction on YouTube. But thanks so much for watching. There are also the flashback with Great's drink from Time when the text changed to I'm sorry. Oh, that's so true. I forgot about that. It's always used as a plot. Yeah, that is so true. It is used a lot as a plot, but I actually really like it. It's giving me like Ocean's 11 meets Money Heist meets Manner of Death. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And make sure to like this live because it helps the algorithm. And when my reaction comes, make sure to watch it, comment, and click on it to help with my engagement. That's how much you can help. And make sure to subscribe. And I will see you next video. Bye. Oh, you just got on? Oh, well, you can go back to the beginning and rewatch it. Bye.